Aloha. Welcome to All Good Things and All Good Time, where it is always a great day to be alive. Good day to be alive, that's right. Let's check the water quality here on the west side on the beach. Oh, 450. And then I went downstairs. There's a water fountain, that pretends to be one of those filtered ones, where it comes down and it tells you how many water bottles you're saving. So it is the same parts per million, doesn't seem to remove any. Whereas if I get ice from the ice machine, melt it, it has 20 parts per million. So for some reason the supposed filter on the drinking fountain is nothing like the water that's being used to make ice. So for whatever that's worth, almost 500 parts per million. Thanks for watching this show. Thanks for supporting my channel. I've got an update on the Maui fire. And so let's get to it. First of all, there is a lawsuit by a legitimate journalist who lives here. I actually met him once I drove up to a fatality accident and talked to him for a minute, and he is just doing real journalism. And his YouTube channel is HI Hawaii Alerts. And he and others together just sued the county with using the Freedom of Information Act to try to get all the stuff we'd all like to see and disseminate, whether it's the body cam footage or, just the recording of all of the conversations that were happening over the radios, the police, the fire. I think we'd all just like to hear what they were saying, right? So I think that's what they're pursuing. And then also, interestingly, so that guy will be reporting on that, right? Because he's involved in it. That reporter happens to be an attorney as well, so he's pretty well versed. And then separate from that, but similarly, there's been the Attorney General of the state of Hawaii just subpoenaed the Water Board, the Emergency Services, and one other government agency, maybe Power Water, and anyway, they've subpoenaed all the people who haven't been very cooperative, apparently. So that's very interesting, right? Then also, like I mentioned in my last update, Mayor Bisson had mentioned that it was a matter of time that he utilize his ability to force people to do certain things. And so while that's not actually happening, no one's being forced to do anything, there's this new program whereby you will have no property taxes on your property if you comply with this program to allow your short-term rentals to be used for long-term rentals. And if you choose not to comply with your short-term rentals, your property taxes are going to go up. So you'll be penalized for not participating and rewarded for participating. And I'm guessing that they're going to funnel money straight to you, the homeowner, for your Airbnb in order to put up these people, which will answer the frustrations of people like myself who are living in hotel rooms. Imagine some of them have kids, etc., and they are not allowed. They can't have a microwave in their room, let alone anything else like that. No cooking things. So if you've got a baby, you need to be able to cook a little, etc. So that would help address the concerns. There's a protest on the beach, a fish inn. There's a presence there 24 hours a day. They're fishing 24 hours a day, and it's to bring awareness to the challenges for that we've been going through, being bounced from one hotel to another. The thing that I don't hear anybody talking about that frustrates me is the situations where they kick people out, and then those people have no recourse to get back into the system, and it might be for some minor thing that's as a result of the trauma that they received, like the one guy who just had a pipe in his room. He got kicked out and who's now homeless, etc. And then I went to a Christmas show that was fascinating. I may post, I took some short clips from that. And Mayor Bisson was there, which was really interesting. He is Amy Gilliam's cousin. I didn't know that. And he played ukulele and sang a song on stage, which was very interesting. It made him seem more likable. I haven't really seen likable qualities from him until this show. And I think everyone's wondering what he was doing. I don't think he's told everyone what he was up to all day. Like, people would like to know where he was at during the day of the fire, what he was up to, why wasn't he doing what people would have liked him to have been doing, which is, saving lives somehow. I gotta believe that if Mayor Victorino, Shane Victorino's dad, was still the mayor, it just would have played out differently. That guy was a really good mayor. They gave you the feeling that he wanted to fight for us, He was great during the pandemic. So, yeah. I met a new friend whose mom grows nuts, and she has a little mac nut farm called Mom's Nuts, which is very funny. And I went there and experienced gathering nuts and watching them being cracked open. I now know a lot more than I knew before, which was nothing, about macadamia nuts. And and I have some right here. I got to take some home. I got to do a little work and then take some home. And if I decide I want to move away from the west side, this is like over an hour away, I might be able to, I may have found a place to stay, which is beautiful, but again, an hour away. I can confirm Mom's nuts are wonderful. All right. Just got my friend's surfboard over to this side. Got the box fin in. Just came home from getting a Allen wrench to secure that, and I've been swimming to prepare myself in the case I need to swim home 2 or 3 miles. So I'm just about ready to swim home 3 miles. So we'll swim one more time tonight, and then tomorrow morning I'm gonna take my new stand-up paddleboard out. Probably gonna take it out sitting down. Anyway, I had a bicycle on the mainland. I got it shipped here. Boy, that was expensive, and I got to put that together. And I was thinking, maybe I will. Maybe I'll try to do an Ironman triathlon. That would be a pretty great challenge, right? So, and basically what I got to do is finish the swim and the bike in like 9 hours. Give myself 8.5 hours to do the marathon, and I might have a chance. So I was thinking about maybe doing that. Maybe signing up for school. Like I've been saying, my brain is starting to work again. So that's cool. Joe Biden should legalize weed. My goodness, like there's 25 states already that have legalized it. I think we're about to, maybe pass legislation that gives us an 18-month horizon towards recreational legalization. So, I mean, how long is a politician going to wait? Like, why wait till all the states have already legalized it? You know, you want to get on that. Like, whatever president does that will be remembered for it. And if, you know, Biden was smart, he would legalize weed right now. So if, you know, anybody's out there, talk to the guy. You know, tell him that's what he needs to do. Let's see what's on this paper if I put my glasses on. Oh, I'm going to reinvest in my channel. Thanks for putting up with this. Is just a cheap iPhone, like the cheapest one you can get from 5 years ago. But I'm going to go get better phones, maybe get an underwater camera, maybe get a drone, maybe get a laptop, and you know, one of those little microphones that reduces the noise. So I hope to be able to provide better looking content based on the technology that I use. So thanks for putting up with everything up till now. I did put in for a free mountain bike. That may be coming. I don't know. For those of you who are curious, having served so many hundreds of thousands of people here on the beach, I've heard just about every question there is. And one of them is, you know, is there a slow season in Maui, right? And that's a good question, because there isn't really. However, the exception being right now, right after Thanksgiving, right before Christmas. Christmas, lots of people like to bring their families here for Christmas. It's something affluent people love to do. And so it is its busiest time of the whole year is Christmas and New Year's. It's also the most expensive. Right before that is the slowest time of the year, right? And the pattern basically follows. The whales are about to show up here right now. So the winter is special because it's snowing in Minnesota and everywhere like that, and it's beautiful here. So more cultured, refined guests without children come during the winter. It's a little more expensive. You got the whales, and it's the opposite of your weather. The summer is, spring is full of spring breakers with their kids. Summer is families with their kids. September, October is when everybody gets married, and there's a few events in there, a marathon, there used to be a triathlon, Halloween used to be a big deal, and then Thanksgiving is a big deal. Lots of people come here for Thanksgiving, and then it dies. And that's where we're at right now. And so this is the typical slow season, the next 2 weeks. Potentially, in some ways, arguably, perhaps, one of the best times to come, right? You don't need any restaurant reservations, let's say, for the next 2 weeks. So that's an interesting question answered. Oh, God, you guys, stop with the Jew hate. My God, please. Growing up, I would hear this untrue, terrible joke that alluded to Jews not being good tippers. Let me tell you, the two best tippers in the world are people from New York and people who are Jewish. Jewish are the best tippers in our country, right? And the people who tip like shit bitch about them not tipping well, right? So I don't know if I need to get into the people that tip like shit, but I've waited on over 100,000 Jews, and they all tip 20%. Of course, I've hypothesized why that might be. You know, is it because they've had to endure those shitty jokes their whole life? Is it because they're smart enough to do the math? Is it because they know how to go out to dinner? Of course, New Yorkers and Jews are the best tippers in the world, but sometimes it's a Jew from New York. Nevertheless, and the surrounding area around New York, people just get it. They know that if they go out to dinner, that's how to go out to dinner, right? And on another day, maybe I'll tell you about the people that suck at tipping. I may have talked about that already, but we'll just leave it at that. Jews are great tippers and wonderful people, and you're an idiot if you hate people for no good reason, like they're wearing a yarmulke or a hijab or a Trump hat. Although, in that case, they're traitors, so I get it. Yeah. Anyway, let's see. For some reason, Trump keeps saying America sucks. It doesn't. We've added more jobs. Inflation's down. Unemployment's totally down. Interest rates aren't controlled by Joe Biden. And, well, rich people complain about how that negatively affects us. It doesn't so much. What it does for the poor people is bring the price of homes down so that we can afford them again, right? Rich people have been just taking all the free money in the world and just leveraging themselves forward and gotten super rich from free money. And now they're bitching about how they, got to pay a little interest and how they can't refinance and keep just buying homes indiscriminately. So, yeah, thank you, Joe Biden, for the great economy. It's going great. We've added so many jobs. Third quarter growth, 5%. I mean, the economy's doing great. People just love to bitch and moan for no reason. All these crimes are hate. There's no crime that isn't a hate crime. This freaking asshole who shot these kids with Palestinian scarves, which, by the way, I mean, I don't think I would wear a Trump hat, a scarf, or a yarmulke maybe right now out in public, like, just because there is so much ignorance out there. So many stupid people. Anyway, I've been calling, I'm going to start calling comedy clubs to see if any comedy club will let me perform for them on the mainland. I will fly anywhere, perform anywhere. Maybe I might try to shoot for like the Bay Area just because I have family there and free place to stay. Maybe I'll be able to use you guys as leverage. You know what I'm saying? NCAA football. Why won't they get smart and do a freaking playoff with like 32 teams? Oh my God, it would be the greatest phenomenon ever. Because look, the 20th best team in the nation could beat the number 1 team on any given Sunday. So I'm just saying, you want to have freaking pandemonium? You want to draw attention into NCAA football? Oh my God, nothing would do it like a really big tournament, or at least 16 teams, right? They talk about going from 4 to 8 teams. Give me a break. Just open it up. And then just make them bowl. All the games, bowl games, so you can, keep the bowl people happy. Anyway, have you heard that Trump calls Nikki Haley Bird Brain? That's going to be her nickname, Bird Brain Haley. And I still don't know why nobody has called Ron DeSantis, who's getting his ass handed to him anytime they let Gavin Newsom speak. I mean, Ron DeSantis is such a turd. It's unbelievable. Taking away women's rights, flooding the streets with guns, killing the environment. God, what if Republicans ever did one good thing, What if? It would be so cool, That's what I'm saying. How about Trump calling Letitia James Peekaboo James? That sounds racist as hell. But that's par for the course with that racist traitor, criminal, worst person in American history. Yeah, I don't know what else there is here. Slow season. Yeah, told you something about Hawaii. Joseph Campbell. So before I rode my bicycle across the United States the first time, I watched an interview with Joseph Campbell out at the Lucas Ranch. The only time he interviewed with anybody, I think it was with Sagan. And yeah, he kind of inspired me to ride a bicycle across the United States the first time. He talked about how people in our modern world don't have rites of passage anymore, right? The Jewish community with the bar mitzvah, bat mitzvah might be the last kind of thing that resembles rite of passage. But we pretty much lost all of our rites of passage, right? That point at which you go from being from a boy to a man, or from a girl to a woman, okay? And so as he was talking about that, I was thinking, boy, maybe I should get out of where I grew up, get on a bicycle, ride all the way to Florida, and in a sense, give myself a rite of passage, something that, afterwards I would never be the same again from. And so that is one of the big inspirations for me, one of the triggers that triggered the thought that that's what I should do. Because it's kind of a big thought, deciding to ride a bicycle across the United States. And if you didn't know it, and pertaining to that interview, the reason he did it at George Lucas's estate was because George Lucas from Star Wars gives Joseph Campbell all the credit in the world for helping him create the Star Wars movies, because of his writings about mythology and all that. So if you haven't seen Joseph Campbell's interviews, they're pretty interesting. He wrote 48 books. Hero with 1,000 Faces, I think, was maybe the one that inspired George Lucas. He was a professor at a women's college for 40 years, and just a wonderful man. Ended up retiring to Hawaii, and his interview was just a few years before he passed away. I don't think he was ever really interviewed other than that, which was just fascinating because it was going on. That interview took place 2.5 miles away from where I was born and raised. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm trying to, if there's anything else I should tell you about. I've been starting to get stuff done, been exercising a little bit. Got one car safetied and registered, got another car to get safetied and registered. So I'm getting, like, errands, administrative tasks done. I'm starting to get healthy, get in shape, getting my own food together, so I don't rely on their meals. It's kind of weird being in this institutional living. It's like the fanciest institutional living, but it's still institutional living where, like, you're being given a free meal, and like Pavlov's dog, you might just respond to that, and that becomes something that, is part of your day. Oh, got to make sure I go get the food when it's available. There's that window of opportunity. After that, you can't get it, right? And so, anyway, it's just kind of interesting, weird. But yeah, and that Hawaii Alerts guy, that is a real journalist, right? There are people who are trying to cover this who aren't part of it, or who have a vested interest in something else, whether it's the person who's got, who's doing content about something completely different, and then this happened, they decided, oh, they're getting views, so they're going to focus on this only, and they live God knows where. Or the person who is trying to use all this to sell real estate. Yeah, different than Hawaii Alerts. This is a legitimate journalist doing legitimate journalism. He's going to chase down facts, and he's going to help us make up educated ideas, thoughts, decisions about, opinions about the fire, right? And I know a lot of people have opinions about things regarding the fire, but I'm trying to reserve my judgment, although it does look like there's several things that are very frustrating, like people being blocked in and the water not working, and the amount of time it took for the entire fire to do all of its damage, and that nothing ultimately showed up after 8 hours of time to get resources there. I mean, when I filmed my last videos as the town was finally burning down, my neighborhood finally, it was after 8 o'clock at night. Like, that had been going on a long time. There were resources around the state of Hawaii that could have come over here one way or another on some big plane, and it just never happened. I was just so sad. I thought there at the last second, even, man, if someone would just show up right now with a big tanker of water, who could save my neighborhood. But anyway, never did happen. So that is that. I think I covered most of it. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with the Airbnbs being offered to us. I'm an individual, and some people are parts of families. So obviously, I want the families to be getting into these places first and foremost. But that'd be so strange. What if I had like a whole Airbnb to myself? How would they do that? Would they join me up with one other person and make us be roommates or something? Or, you know, anyway. So we'll see what happens there, and we'll see how homeowners respond. It'll be interesting. I imagine there'll be people that that were hoping to rent it out with Airbnb and not with a refugee from the fire for an extended period of time. So I'm sure there'll be a little bit of a backlash, I guess. I don't know. It'll be interesting. And I applied for Oprah Winfrey's help again, hoping she doesn't continue to reject me. I heard that it reopened. I hope that's true. I don't know, but I emailed her, letter from my landlord, my ID, a piece of mail from my healthcare provider, and hopefully I'll be like everybody else I know and get help from her. That would be cool. But it's all good. Thank God I have you nice people who are just so wonderful. So I'm gonna keep posting all kinds of different content. Who knows what I'm gonna post next? But I got plans. Yeah. And thank you for your time. Hope you're having a great day. Remember, if you go out to eat, tip 20%. My goodness, okay? Tip 20% or more. Reward hard workers for being hard workers. They're the grease that makes everything work, okay? So, yeah, and try not to do any harm or crime. You're really best off if you don't pop pills, don't put shit up your nose, stay away from violent people, stay away from the wrong relationships, don't gamble, whatever you do, and don't drive drunk. Getting drunk could be bad too. But hedge your bet. Don't do the stupid shit that's gonna ruin your life, right? And make the world a better place every day by being a nice person. All right, thanks you guys. I hope we put a little mustard on it for you. Hey, I got a business idea. Get a mustard company, call it John Madden's Mustard. That's right. John Madden's Mustard. Put a little mustard on it. That'll be the company saying.